So to follow is stories that I have about different experiences that I've had with spirit, where spirit has been well formed. And what I mean by well formed is that they look solid. They look like a person just like you and I. You can't see through them. They don't look translucent. They don't look misty or anything to that nature. And so they can catch you a little bit off guard. And, certainly they've gotten me off guard more than once. And I'm sharing those stories with you. So I hope you enjoy these stories. Give me a thumbs up if you do. And have a great listening experience. Thanks. As a psychic medium, I connect with spirit, or I see ghosts. However you want to call them, spirits, apparitions, if you prefer those terms, they're all the same. One night I was on my way home after conducting a small group of mediumship, and it was about 10 o'clock at night. I had a great time, but I was tired because I'd used a lot of energy, so all I wanted to do was get home and get something to eat. There's this back road that I use on my way home. It goes up a hill, and the street is overlined with trees that hang over the street, casting in shadows and so forth, where there are no street lights. But it also goes by an old cemetery, a very old cemetery, and a golf course. So when I got to that point, I turned left onto the road. And as I was going uphill, I was speeding up. And then suddenly, there's a woman standing in the middle of the street. What? Where did she come from? And automatically my foot left the gas pedal and was hovering over the brake when I realized it was spirit. Standing in the middle of the road. She was just standing there. But she was so well formed that she looked solid. So, yes, they can be that well formed. In my experience, it doesn't last for long, but long enough to give cause for concern. I can recall right off the top of my head about 4 occasions where I have had 2 adult males, a child, and a teenager standing in the doorway to my bedroom. The 2 adult males, when they appeared, it was just as I was waking up. So let me tell you, that's a little bit on the freaky side. With one of them, I remember I was just waking up, and as I opened my eyes, there's this tall man standing at the doorway to my bedroom, just standing there looking at me. Of course, as I'm staring at him, my mind is racing. I looked back at the doorway. He's gone. It was just a split second, and he was gone. He was so well formed, I thought he was solid. And then I remembered, I was having a group that afternoon. With the group, he came back and identified the woman he was coming through for. But I can tell you, when he showed up at my door, he was pretty solid. I had another time, I had this teenager show up at my bedroom door, and this was just after I climbed into bed. Once I made eye contact with the teenager, he thought it was an invitation, and he comes walking into the room and over to my side of the bed to talk to me. He didn't scare me in the least, and he told me who he was here for, and it turned out it was for this woman I know professionally. So I asked him, what's the message he wanted me to pass to his mother, which he gave me. And but the amazing part of the story is that when I reached out to his mom the next day and chat with him, and it turned out that this year was his 20-year anniversary of his passing. Here's one. I just thought of one for you. My home office is next to my kitchen. So if you're sitting at my desk and you turn your head to the left, you're facing the kitchen, and you also have a clear shot at the sliding glass door that leads out to the deck. So on this day, it was about 6 o'clock in the evening, and it was really light out. So I'm working on my computer and I have this feeling, and I look up from my computer and I turn my head to look into the kitchen, and my eyes were immediately drawn to the sliding glass doors. My stomach sank and my heart leapt with fear, with no exaggeration, okay? Because there, standing on the other side of the sliding glass door, was this man. And he was about 5'7" or so, with a wiry build, and he had a very craggy face. You know, he had that pitted skin. He also had a lot of deep lines on his face, and he was extremely unfriendly looking. He had straight hair, and it was cut in layers, with the last layer just a little longer than his shoulders. And boy, he may have been small, but he was menacing. Not just the look, but the feel of him. Our eyes locked, and when they did, my heart dropped to the floor. And all I could think of was, this is really bad. Then I blinked, and he's gone. Holy sugar shack. Like, I died in that instant. It was so scary. The sliding glass door to make sure I didn't miss something, like him being out of my view, you know, hiding just out of view of the door. I looked out into the deck, and there was nothing. I still had the feeling of him as I looked out the door, and in that moment, I felt that someone somewhere was having that feeling. It was the weirdest thing. So the next day, I'm doing a phone ring for this woman, and I felt she's connected to this man somehow. I mentioned it, and she told me her mother had seen someone in the yard just a day or so before, and it sounded really close, like it could have been the same guy.